certainly a good bit of traveling, and I think there is a bigger world out there, and that bigger world lives in a different way. If you want to become a true global citizen, and if you want to learn how to live not only in America, but in the wider global context of the entire world, it's something that you have to do.
These students are the future business leaders, and they have chosen to apply to this program, the Global Immersion Program, and they have been selected because they are particularly interested in doing business in South Africa and learning about leadership in South Africa. The purpose of this immersion, all of our global programs, is to come away understanding that they are part of one economy in a global economy.
Okay, guys, everyone
We want them to have the opportunity to speak to real people on the street, really people that are living in this economy. We want them to start to begin understanding other people's stories.
At District 6 Museum, they're going to hear the stories of and read about the stories of people who used to live in that community.
I hadn't actually heard of the situation before, so it was a lot similar to civil rights, and I'm really interested in the civil rights movement. And what surprised me the most was the fact that they're still pushing for it now, like it's not a resolved issue.
We hope with that visit they start to realize that apartheid still has an impact on people's lives.
My favorite part about today, I guess, was talking to the different people, especially Mr. Brown in District 6.
Yeah, so the Technicon is built here. A shop next to the church, there was a building here. Right?
I remember him saying, I loved it, even though it was short-lived. It was like, the best years of his life. The culture there, all the music, it was a real sense of community there.
They're going to visit an NGO called Our Labs. It's an NGO that tries to reconstruct the community that it's part of.
Welcome to Our Labs. This is the main hub. We are based here in the community. We have an innovation incubator.
I felt like they were inspiring in terms of, I've had ideas like that before, like, oh, that would be cool if I did this. That's one of the things that I asked Clinton, was just like, what's your advice on if someone like myself was to start my own business? And his main point was just, you actually have to go out and do it.
We got to take on a tour first to see really where the partners came from. They all were gangsters.
Seeing these people that come from very poverty-stricken areas and have kind of been swallowed up and trapped in the cycle of gangsterism, but it's also very humbling at the same time, seeing that they're going out there and trying to make a difference and really help build their communities and solve problems.
Communities is not necessarily geographical. We also know that we have global communities. So with universities coming in and doing research, possibly a collaboration could come out of that, where students or universities could bring value into the community.
I think that was a good point to take for anyone who's interested in starting their own business.
The learning process takes multiple forms. We want to know what the students are learning, and that is where they share with the entire group.
Now that we've done all of our field research, we are back at the hotel and my group is working together.
Talk about what we've learned, talk about things that we're still curious about, just sort of share our experiences of our day with the other teams.
And that was kind of the idea that they picked up, and they called themselves the Reconstructed Living Labs, because they had all come from these gang cultures, from these symbols of violence, and reconstructed their lives to form these living labs.
What is important about a trip like this and a program like this is that they get beyond the headlines, the stuff that they read about in the newspaper, see on the news, and that they go beneath the surface.
While this is a business trip, it's also a cultural experience. And I don't think those things are entirely separate. I think if you want to run a business, you have to know the culture, you have to know the people. What's really great about UNC is not only the diverse range of opportunities that they provide, but the different people that are there that you can interact with.
A lot of opportunities, of course. We're here in South Africa. At most schools, you wouldn't be able to do that.
you're meeting the different business leaders, meeting the different entrepreneurs, you're meeting the different people of South Africa. And from those experiences and from those interactions, you can sort of learn how you yourself would do it and how South African businesses works from their experiences.
When people leave this program, they leave very excited, very energized about South Africa.
I really like how they're so about community, like they say the individual doesn't exist. It's all about community, and I really appreciate that.
Most importantly, they leave knowing that the world is bigger than their own small microcosm in Chapel Hill.
So I think that's an important lesson for Americans to take home, that how you live and what conditions you live in doesn't have to necessarily dictate who you are and how your life is going to be.
And they begin to understand how they can go out into the world, learning more about it, and how they can work with the world in business and as leaders.